Vicky is one of the first ever companies to make officially licensed Plants vs. Zombies plushes, and today we're going to be looking at the second ever Plants vs. Zombies plush set that they made. So with that said, welcome to a look at the Vicky Set 2 Plants vs. Zombies plush set. So let's start off with the first plush set, which is the pea shooter. Now this leaf base on the pea shooter plush overall looks pretty good. The only thing they could have really improved on is that they could have made it a little wider because, well, for some reason on this plush the leaf base is kind of skinny. And well, same thing with the stem. The stem is overall really skinny, so it could get understuffed really easily over the years. I can't really tell if it has like anything in like the neck, like a metal rod to make it stand up better, because well, these plushes are extremely rare and have zero documented owners of them. But if there isn't anything in the pea shooter's neck to make it stand up better and it's only plush material, that means the neck could get really overall just kind of understuffed over the years, which is obviously a bad thing about this plush. And well, the pea shooter's head is overall pretty correctly shaped and it overall looks pretty nice. The embroidery on the eyes is really one of the only problems with this plush in my opinion, because well, for some reason the eyes are looking the opposite direction, which is probably one of the only things I really dislike about this plush, because well, the eyes just looking in the opposite direction just kind of make it look overall just really weird. But yeah, besides that, the rest of the pea shooter plush is also pretty good, and well, it has a pea in its mouth that could come out and is attached to a string, so it could get damaged. But yeah, for an officially licensed pea shooter plush, it overall looks pretty good, and it looks very similar to the World Max one. And well, if you want any single plush in a set, it's basically going to be impossible to get any plush in a set, because well, they're all extremely rare and have zero documented owners of them. Well, there's barely any pictures of them outside the official ones released by the actual company. And now let's go on to the next plush set, which is the sunflower. Now the sunflower plush uses the exact same leaf base and stem as the pea shooter, so yeah, once again, the leaf base and stem are for some reason just really skinny, and they could have made it a little wider to make it look better. And well, the back of the sunflower's head is accurate because well, it's a green color, and well, overall the sunflower's face looks very similar to basically every single officially licensed sunflower plush. Because well, for some reason, it seems like that pop cap kind of gave the exact same sunflower design to basically every single company that made an officially licensed sunflower plush, except for a few like MCC. But yeah, with that said, even though it basically uses the exact same face as other officially licensed sunflower plushes, it still overall looks really good because well, it's nicely embroidered on and it overall looks really nice. And well, the petals on the sunflower's face overall look really good, and they can't really get damaged because they're not made out of that delicate of a material. And well, overall, besides like the stem being really skinny and getting understuffed over the years quite easily by the looks of it, the rest of the plush is overall really good. And now let's go on to the next plush in the set, which is the squash. Now this is the second design of the squash plush, and well, I think the first one that Vicky made was a lot better than this one. And well, the reason for that is that I like the embroidery on the first one. I think this one kind of looks like the World Max one, just smaller. Because well, basically all this plushes is just a smaller size of the big size of the World Max one. So yeah, this one just going overall looks weird because well, it's just based off of the World Max one. You know, I think the first design of the squash plush that Vicky originally released was a lot more unique, and it overall looked a lot nicer than this one. But don't get me wrong, the squash plush is still overall pretty good. I do like the 3D details on it. And well, even though the embroidery on this plush isn't as detailed as the first design, it still overall looks really nice, and well, they got the squash shape down pretty good. As well, they did a good job stuffing the squash correctly to make it look very detailed and look very accurate to how it's supposed to be. And well, even though it's a bit disappointing to see it's basically an exact copy of the World Max one, it still overall looks really nice, and well, if this plush was actually obtainable, I would probably get it. And now let's go on to the next plush set, which is the tall nut. This plush probably has to be the most obscure in the whole set because well, I could really only find one image of it. And well, the only really bad thing about this plush is that well, it's not really that much of a tall nut because well, it's overall really small. As well, as you can tell by the proportion, it looks really round and just not that tall looking, which is well, obviously a tall nut is supposed to be tall, so yeah, that's just a big inaccuracy about this plush that makes this a lot worse than it could have been. As well, it looks more like a walnut instead of a tall nut. So yeah, besides the fact that it's just way too small to be a tall nut, the face actually just looks really good on this plush. I kind of wish that they did make it bigger because well, but overall would have been a pretty good plush, even though it's basically impossible to get. But yeah, if they didn't make this plush so small, it actually would have been overall a pretty good tall nut plush. And now let's go on to the next plush, which is the Kernel Pult. Now this probably has to be one of the best, if not the best, Kernel Pult plush that was ever made. Because well, to start it off with, I actually really like the lime green color on this Kernel Pult plush because well, it's overall just a lot nicer color than the dark green version basically used by every single other company. As well, I think the lime color is just a lot more unique and it stands out a lot more than the dark green color that was used on basically every single other Kernel Pult plush. So yeah, that's one thing that Vicky did a very good job with on this plush. And well, another thing that I really like about this plush is that the fuzzy texture on it overall looks really good, and they did a great job making it look very detailed. Now, they also did a great job with the embroidery on the eyebrows and on the eyes, and I do like that they use a lime green color on the eyebrows as well, but it makes it stand out a lot more on the face than it would have been with a dark green color. But well, by far the best part about this plush is that it actually has a pult on it. Because as you know, basically every single other kernel pull plush, cabot pull plush, and basically every single type of pult doesn't actually have a pult on its plush. As well, but seems that a company never ended up deciding to make it with a pult except for this company, so yeah, this overall makes this plush overall really good and really unique. And well, but overall looks really good. I like the lime green color used on this sim, and it actually seems to be bendable with metal inside of it because well, as the pictures you can see it, well, it just kind of looks bendable. And well, the kernel inside of the pult looks overall really good, except one bad thing about this plush is that it actually can't come out. It's just stitched onto the plush, and well, but a really good detail could have been that it actually could come out. Which is actually a thing that the company could have probably did, because they did the same thing with the pea coming out of the mouth, so they probably could have did that with its pult. But yeah, overall this probably has to be my favorite kernel pull plush that was ever released, just for the fact that it has a pult on it, and also the details on it overall just look really nice. And well, it's honestly a shame that this plush was never released, because well, I would love to get this one. And well, that goes for basically every single plush that was ever made by Vicky as well. They made a ton of good plushes, except none of them seem to actually have ever been released because, well, basically the only pictures of them that we have are made by them themselves. So yeah, we can't really even get this plush. But yeah, which plush is your favorite? Mine's probably the kernel pull, but comment down below yours, and yeah, have a great day.